All right, I want to welcome everyone to this kickoff session for Conscious Transitions. It is a new group, a new format, a movement that is making history. And I am beyond grateful to have each and every one of you here, and grateful for those that have already just jumped in and said, I'm all in. And very grateful for all of you who are just coming in to give this a test run to see if it is a community made for you, built for you, right for you. I am Lauren McLaughlin, and I am the founder of Conscious Strong, and it has been my purpose and my mission for many, many years now to help make an impact in the lives of others, in the lives of those, so that we can change the world one beautiful human at a time. And I come to this practice by way of being a master movement trainer, a brain health trainer, and a mother, and other credentials, but not necessary to really go down that path. The main thing here is that I have wanted to build a very brave space so that we could all hold space for women in transition and helping to make an impact in the lives of others. So with said, I'm going to go ahead and start rolling through. Now, for the sake of time today, because this is just a kickoff, I am going to keep it to about 30 minutes. 30 minutes just to give you an overview of just how we roll through this process. So why don't we just get started and take a look? So first of all, where did the name transitions, conscious transitions come from? So transitions seems to be the word of, even in my movement practice, that is very forward. And I've been, over my years of working in this space, there are many transition moments that have brought women through my doors. And at the very top is really one I see probably most often, although there are some in here that even overlap and they all feed one another. But let's just run through just a few. And for those of you who are dealing with a transition, maybe it's one of these, or maybe it's one that you don't see on the list, please drop in the chat what it is that you're going through. If you're open to being vulnerable, nobody in this space here will see it because everyone here is anonymous today. I have kept it so that it would not be, I'd be holding back any intimidation moments so that you can be free to feel comfortable and feel safe and also feel brave. So if you're feeling brave and you want to put in the chat, only I will see them. So just so you know, you can be brave and just share it with me, and I will be happy to address it, of course, anonymously. So what I hear the most is, let me see. Oh, hey, chat is closed. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for those that, let's see. Well, you know what? Oh, it's not closed. So yes, it is closed. So for those of you that have been asking, for today's session, I chose to keep it more just webinar style, just for the sake of opening up the space for as many people. And a lot of people are just uncomfortable coming forward. So I've kept cameras off, and anything that you type is going to come directly to me. So sorry. Yes, I was going to alert everyone that you can type a question or a comment or anything, and it will come straight to me, and then I will bring it forward to the entire group, just for the sake of keeping everybody anonymous just for today. In the kickoff, we'll start, in the main coaching, we will be opening up the space for the group to participate together. So yes, please at any point, and I'll often prompt you to even drop in the chat a comment or just answering a question, etc., throughout this one. So as we go through these, just please in your mind, just think of any questions that you have, and I'm definitely opening up at the end to answer any questions. Alrighty, so transitions. And as I said, why did I choose conscious transitions? Because I was finding that all of these transitions that you can see here listed were coming through my space, coming through my door. and the impact that they were having on so many people on all different levels. So we're going to talk about a few of those in just a moment. But as I was saying, menopause is a big one. Divorce is another one. They all start to kind of fall in this category here. And as you'll see, there will start to be a little bit of a thread and a theme. So divorce can wreak havoc on a family. I've been through that, and I went through that with 5 children that were at vulnerable ages, and it was very difficult. So I can definitely speak to that space of going through divorce and the transition and moving your children. Even without children, divorce is a challenge. Empty nesters, that is a big one. I think every parent, if you're a parent, you have that identity as Watson's mom. I was known as Watson's mom, Dylan's mom, Gaston's mom. It was, always their mom. And when they leave, then you're kind of stripped away from that identity, even though you never stop being a parent, but you lose that identity of, okay, what do I do with myself now? And that can be very scary for a lot of people because they've lost that over the years of taking care of kids. Loss of a loved one, that's just a part of life. And I still miss my father every day. Dealing with the loss of a loved one can really send you into a transition that can be challenging. And then we are right now in the relocation era of COVID, post-COVID, where everybody's relocating and moving into a different job. Those are very huge in terms of just reestablishing a sense of self. And then there's illness. So maybe there's been a diagnosis that is leaving you having to transition into a new way of living, or having an identity that you may think is yours, because I'm a big believer is that you do not take on the identity of your illness. You start to move into you taking control of that illness. And we'll talk a lot about that, especially in the coaching part of it. So if any of you have had, or you're going through a transition, or you've had a transition that you found very challenging to manage through, please put in the chat. As I said, these are all just for today. These are going just to me. So if you want to be brave, it will just be myself seeing it. And you can put in the chat too, if you are comfortable with me sharing. I'll of course leave your name out of it. So we'll go ahead and start moving into the next solution mode that we're going to be going through in the coaching. So we've brought in some of the transitions, and this is what we'll be inviting into the group coaching that will start on Tuesday. But now we're moving into the solutions, and the solutions that I'm bringing forward are a big part of my teaching, the Conscious Strong teaching, and the program that I have in the curriculum that I have been bringing forward. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Barb. Thank you for allowing us to share that. It's been divorce and illness. Those are huge. Yeah. And thank you for allowing me to share that forward. Yeah. Okay. So definitely you're an empty nester. There's someone else. Sue, you are having, so I guess I can type the answer. Yes. Sorry, this is just a newer format. I'm not quite, I guess, having it like this. I just wanted to keep it anonymous, but we'll keep it going. Thank you for everyone dropping in some of your transitions that you're going through. I really appreciate it. And this is why bringing women together as we start to, hold hands together in the group, that is where my opinion, these solutions start to take place. And I'm so excited. So the 7 areas that I work on here in Conscious Strong or at Conscious Strong is, and I'll just run through them quickly because again, we'll be deep diving into them: spiritual health, emotional health, physical health, nutrition health, sleep health, relationship health, and financial health. All of these play together at all times. So there isn't a time where all of these are exchanging energy. All of these are all constantly moving together. And that is what I've found over my years of teaching, is that you can't have one without the other. So therefore, I've found it's best to bring it all together as one holistic integrative approach to our healthcare versus it being this siloed single approach that it doesn't work. It's not sustainable. It may work temporarily, but when we can develop this really healthy foundation, it makes all of these start to exchange and flow very fluidly, because the bridge of the transition, so there are transitions between each of these that will help keep your foundation solid. And so I'm going to show you here just a little pyramid that I base off of, the prettiest pyramid, but hey, for the sake of just showing us here today, this will work. So I always start at the foundation here, which is spiritual health, emotional health, and physical health. This is where we will begin. This is where you start to take root. This is where you really get real with yourself. Who are you? Who are you now? What is your purpose? How do you understand your emotional baseline? How does your spiritual health and emotional health have an impact on your physical health? How does your emotional health impact how you move your body, how you exercise? So these are just a few areas that we will really deep dive into in the foundation work that we'll start this coming week, which I'm so excited. Then we move up, but this won't come until a little bit later in the coaching series. We first really deep dive and get really healthy in this base foundation. Then we will move into nutrition, health, and sleep health. Very important. These are all important, but it's down here in the base foundation that is going to support your eating and your sleep health. I can just give a quick little analogy, if it's an analogy or a story or an example. Let's say an example is the one I always use about how spiritual health and your nutritional health are related. If the bridge between your spiritual health and your nutrition health is weak and you can't make it across that bridge over to here, that's when you're going to just want to drive through McDonald's and grab that Big Mac and your fries. So it just gives you just one example. It's my one I use most of the time. And then we'll definitely move into relationship health and financial health, because as it starts to peak, you're going to find that once you get up here where you're in a healthy financial state based upon this very firm foundation, you are going to have a flow state in life. And that is our ultimate place that we want to be in. All right. And again, as we are moving along, even if you have some pen and paper with you, just jot down some questions. Feel free to go ahead and drop them in the chat and I will see them. And then I can, okay, I think I'm figuring it out. I'm going to go ahead and do answer live there. Okay, done. Okay, I think that worked. Let me go ahead and do that. See if that went into the chat. Okay, yeah. Those of you that can see it, just let me know. All right, so moving next, we're going to go to how we roll here. What is this coaching going to look like? How is it set up? So how I have it, and if anyone knows Lauren out there already, you know that Lauren has a little bit of an organic side to her. Because I feel, and this happened all my years of teaching, is that when I first started out, I made a plan, had a lesson plan for every client. And as soon as the client walked in the door, I said, whoops, that's not going to work. And I feel that is how any guidance is. I think any guide has to have some flexibility. So I've definitely learned the gift of flexibility, or I think I already had it anyway. I try to stay on track, but I definitely do bring some just organic changes into the flow of our coaching, simply because I support the group in front of me and not a textbook and not what I feel is the right approach. It all really comes from the energy of the people in front of me. So with that said, we will have 2 live virtual coaching sessions a week. Chat still says disabled, just so you know. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do that actually in the moment. So I can see yours, Barb. I can see the chat. So I guess what I'll do is just verbally talk to everybody who is sending, because some others have sent some other answers or comments through as well. And so if you want to type in anything, so Barb, I can see you. I just hear what you're saying, that the chat is disabled. So yeah, so I'm going to keep rolling, but just definitely type in any questions that you have or comments, okay? And then we can also then hop on a call after if necessary to answer anything that doesn't get answered, but I'll certainly try. Thank you for being patient with that and the chat being deactivated. I'm using Q&A. Oh, okay, thank you. Q&A, everybody, Q&A. Thank you. Somebody else, Sue, you figured it out. But yeah, if you want to drop in the Q&A, any questions that you have, and I will certainly address every question at the end that comes through, okay? All right, perfect. Thank you, thank you. All right, so we will have the 2 virtual coaching sessions a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I have that schedule coming up here in a moment. We have the private group chat. So I have a couple of things, and you'll be seeing here in just a moment. So some of you have already registered for Quinza. Don't worry, I'm going to go to Quinza just right after this, after I do this overview. So we have a private group chat. We have a private platform. We have a weekly email support. So I'll be sending you weekly emails as your support, as your accountability partner, as your guide. I am here for you. And I do have on-demand coaching. So if you are wanting to get a little extra support, all you'll have to do is just send me a chat or get on my calendar, because all of you will have the link to my calendar, and we can hop on a separate Zoom just to help support you. And then I have a workbook that will be going out to each and every one of you. So with said, I mentioned Quinza. I just want you to see it. And some of you, thank you for just being patient here and this being an overview. But for those that have not seen it, because this truly was in the beginning of using Quinza, was a little challenging simply because no one knew what Quinza was. And therefore it went lost in spam, or they thought of it as spam and just ignored it. So for everyone setting up an account, once you are registered, you get an email that will be from Quinza. They have not white labeled this yet. I think they're in the works. So just wanted you to get a picture of what Quinza is. I'm going to show you actually my Quinza. This is my mock Quinza account. And this is what your side will look like once you have an account. And this is where Home Hub is. This is where I will be dropping activities for you. I will be sending you pathways in Quinza. It's the online courses as I think of it. So as I have been establishing different course topics, I have created a pathway that will support, and it will act somewhat like an online course. And so activities separate, those are going to be single exercises, whether it's an introspective exercise or it's a video from me. Then you have the chat. I can't open this because this is an image. So this is not an actual functional, this is just a picture. So chat is where you'll click on that, and then you'll be able to have a chat with the group, or you can chat with me independently, and it's all private. So no one else outside of the group, or if it's a one-on-one, no one else will be able to see it. It's very private. Here you will have notes that I will create based upon some of our sessions, based upon some of your work that you've shared with me, your intake forms and customizing your plan. And files will be separate files like Google Docs and other videos that I'll be dropping into the files that you'll be able to have just on an individual basis, because I do customize work for each and every one of you as the sessions go along. Then we are going in helpful information. So now the helpful information is that you'll want to put these on your calendar. So coaching with me will be live, virtual live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's 12 p.m. Eastern time. And if you can't make it, not a worry, everything will be recorded. And that recording will be uploaded same day into your Quinza file. The third Friday of the month, I am hosting a pop-up session, and the pop-up sessions will be based upon a topic that the group collectively comes up with. It may be centered just around your physical health. It may be centered around just, you name it, your sleep health. And that is where we'll just have a pop-up session that will be quite valuable. And I say all of my sessions are an hour. Sometimes if you get Lauren super chatty, which I'm known to be, for all I know, once I start guiding and teaching, I am known to just keep going and going. And so sometimes you just might be surprised. I try to respect everybody's time, but we'll of course go over that when we are in the sessions. And then a book club. I do have a book reading that I put out. Of course, I would strongly recommend, highly suggest that you do participate in the reading, even if it's by Audible, even if it's by doing Spark Notes or something on the book. If reading is just a challenge right now from a time perspective, there are definitely some Spark Notes and summaries that you can at least dive into the topic and understand when we all come together. So the book club discussions are the last Sunday of every month. And again, I will record those because I find them very interesting. Last month was The Alchemist, which I found just to be, I know, well, you can't really see it, but The Alchemist, if anybody has read that, it's, you can read it over and over and over again and open up some new insight. But the book that we are going to be reading, and then before I leave to show you the book for this month, is that we also have a private community that I'm about to share with you. It's something I've had, but I've underutilized, and I'm bringing it forward now that we are emerging this new format of our group. So this is the community that was actually my amazing designer, web designer, created for me quite some time ago. And this is, I'm giving you an old picture of it or image of it because I'm about to update it. But we will have our own group here. And I realize that this is a lot of different locations, but instead of having to constantly use Facebook, because I'm finding a lot of people are moving out of Facebook, they're getting tired of Facebook groups. It logs into Facebook, you get lost by scrolling maybe, or your friend shows something and it sends you down that rabbit hole. So I'm going to open up this community that I will just say it's there for all of us to use, and it's private. It's on my own platform, my website. So just look for information around this coming. And here's the book reading. So the book reading, let me come up. The book reading, so The Alchemist, I know we are going to read, I'm thinking I might bring it back again. I absolutely adore it. It definitely around spiritual health. It really, I just love, the tale, the story, the depth of it, and we'll probably bring that back around. Yeah. And then the Four Agreements is another one. it's another one that I've read many times that you can read it over and over, and it's a really, really good book. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. Yeah, I love the book club. I just think that helps us all take, all of this work a lot deeper. And when you hear another person's perspective of the reading, it really helps to open up even more. So I love those discussions. So this month it's the Four Agreements. And again, we discuss it the last Sunday of every month. And I will always send out an email on Sunday. Sometimes it's gone out Monday, I'll just be honest, but I'll send an email out to the beginning of the week of everything that's happening in the week forward. And then just so in case you just want to have a heads up on what we're going to be reading for the next couple of months, is Four Agreements is March. April will be The Body Keeps the Score. It truly is my Bible. I carry it around. If you haven't read it, once again, it's a book. I just tabbed it. I mean, I've tabbed so many areas because it's very deep though. So I don't expect even all of us to go through that book in a month because some of it's quite heavy and thought-provoking. So once we get to that, we will have a deep discussion around it because it can be intense. It really can. It's moving into more trauma healing, and it's powerful and it can stir up a lot of emotion, especially with some of the work I'll be giving you guys. And then May is Words Can Change Your Brain, a fantastic book that a dear, dear, dear friend of mine who I worked very closely with some time ago, and he just unfortunately the end of the year he passed away. But he was a very dear friend of mine who taught Writing to Heal at Duke Integrative Health here in Durham, North Carolina. And this was one of the books that he passed along my way, and I couldn't stop reading it. I think I read the whole book on a plane ride somewhere about just how words can change your brain, and we'll go a lot into that. And once you start working with me, you'll see that we do a lot of writing, and some powerful writing. So those are the books that are coming up soon. I didn't want to just overwhelm with all of the different books. And I did put, if the chat is disabled, let me go ahead and see if I can just drop these somewhere. Well, I'll just send all of these links over to you guys, and you can, then I have the links to the books if you just don't have access, or if you want to, pop into Amazon, you can. So there's the 4 agreements. So that is the book that we will be reading for this month. And it's not a very long book, but it is deep, has a profound message. And I personally like to do both. I listen to the audiobook while I am either driving, or even if I'm doing a movement, at times I like to listen. So the 4 agreements. And I just want to welcome you again to Conscious Transitions. And I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you here. And I feel like it's going to be an amazing group, an amazing journey for as long as you stay with us. And for any of you that are still just wanting to do the trial run, some of you just jumped into the trial, and that is great. I am grateful for that. If you want to go ahead and move into the 3-month commitment, because I asked that it's 3 months. Personally, I feel like it should be longer, but I want everyone to feel comfortable. So I have the 3-month commitment that I can send the link to you if you're interested in going ahead and signing up. Thank you to all of you who already have, and I appreciate that. I saw quite a few come through today. And you can always stay with us longer. And for those of you that have signed up today, I'm giving you a bonus that you didn't know about, but even though it was already bonused, I'm going to just go ahead and put in a 4th month for you, just so that you can really get a true taste of what the staying with the group can feel like. Because the longer it goes, it's usually by month 3, it happens in 3s, that it's out there on the 3rd day that the opening starts to happen. It's the 3rd month where you just start to feel like, I'm starting to get a handle on this. And then as you start to weave into the 4th, 5th, 6th months, that's when you start to create that flow, the understanding of, maybe what a trigger is for you, and the certain tool that you'll need in order to keep you more in a balanced state versus sending you into that parasympathetic nervous system, or the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. We want to be in the parasympathetic. So understanding that language, we'll be moving into that lightly. So if anybody has any questions, please drop in the chat. And yes, I do see that it's going to, again, every Tuesday, Thursday at 12 noon. Now, if there is something that comes up where I cannot, make it, I always propose to the group a different time, a different day, and I'm working my very hardest to avoid any changes, but that's just the nature of life. Something is going to come up. I will be traveling when I'm going to the first Italy retreat that will be coming up. And if anybody does want to hear more about the retreats, please, to just hop on my calendar and we can chat. So when I'm traveling, I still try to manage teaching, which is fine once I'm there. But if it happens to land, if I'm in transition, it's quite of a challenge. And so travel, any other, certain special circumstances that pop up, I always try to give you advance notice. But otherwise, even if you can't make it, not a worry, you'll still be in communication with me, and you will be getting the recordings of the coaching sessions. So very good. Yeah, it looks like everybody is saying good, and I am just excited. And I'm grateful for you taking time out on this Sunday. And as I said, I just wanted to keep today more just anonymous, if you will, because I had a number of people that just were a little, intimidated by showing face. And I said not to worry. So I just kept it so that we just gave a good overview. But I welcome all of you. And this is why I just wanted to let it be known that this is a brave space. It is a safe space. It is where we have absolutely no judgment of ourselves or one another. We hold space for everybody else so that, we are comfortable. And my 4 words that I say almost every day, and I do say every day: judge less, love more. And that's what we're going to all be about here, is judging less, and mostly important of yourself, loving yourself more, loving others more, because that at the end of the day is what is going to help us all move through these transitions and find that balance that we want in life. So fantastic. And just on that note too, I am just going to share that the majority of my work is done by just referrals. So if any of you know of anyone that would find this at all beneficial, I encourage just to share. That they can come in and give it a trial run. They can also go ahead and jump in for just a 3-month commitment. The investment really is not that great in comparison to what I feel is priceless, and that is your health, that is your life, and you finding your purpose and the who you are out of life so that you can live your best life. So please do, pass along if you have anyone that pops into your mind. So I want to thank all of you for dropping in, and I look forward to seeing everyone on Tuesday, but look for some emails going out later this evening, as well as emails that will be showing up in your inbox on a regular basis. And I will see all of you 12 noon on Tuesday Eastern Time. Take care, everyone. Bye.